So, after my last video, which was Alchemy Reading 6.1, I knew that I had a little bit of work to do, because you may have noticed it too, but I pretty much threw my own mother under the bus at the end of that video, and I'm laughing, but I also like, yikes, that was not up to my own standard. I did not live up to my own standard, because in that video I was talking about my mother, and then first I was talking about how she was, and then I switched to present tense. And that was not me holding space for my mother to change at any time. That was me stating how my mother has been, but I don't know if she's going to be that way going forward, right? So my standard for me and the way I want to operate is to allow that for people, right? And I did not do that. And so I was like, oh dang, I got some more work to do around how I feel about my mama. So I wanted to share this because this came out in a session that I had with somebody, and it had never come out as something that I did myself before. It was like something I channeled, and it was basically this. So in order to heal the mother wound has been something that I've been working on for a long time, right? Like, there have been layers and layers and layers of it. There's a lot of different angles of the wounding that can happen between mother and child. When there's like broken attachments, disappointments about how we were parented, and then like the disconnection, and then like the wounding from how everything affected us later, and like, and maybe if the behaviors are ongoing that caused us harm, there's that whole thing to deal with, and resentments and feeling jaded, and just like even dealing with the longing for a connection with mother. I don't know if that ever goes away. Hopefully it does when you fully heal, because on a daily basis I don't feel it, but there's definitely still a part of me that's like sad that I never got that relationship with mom that I wanted real bad. I wanted it real bad, So I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I'm still holding resentment about my relationship with mom and how mom has been, because yeah, she operates in that way, or has operated in that way in the past. And yeah, I didn't like it, but she's her own person. She's in a trauma state, probably. That's probably why she's acting like that. And it's like, this is how she was programmed. That's just it. Like, she's just a human being doing her best, and that happens to be her best, right? Just because I wanted her best to be different, it doesn't make it so. So, but here's what I was inspired to in a session with somebody else. I had advised this to somebody else, and I've never done this myself. And it was kind of funny for me. I was like, because I asked Spirit afterwards, I was like, well, why didn't you ever tell me to do that? Like, you told me to tell them as a suggestion, to help them heal a mother wound. But why didn't you ever tell me to do that? And what was it? Oh, and it basically, Spirit was like, well, you had never really needed to earn your own trust back on being willing to feel your feelings. So it never came up. So this particular person was going to get in the practice of feeling their feelings, and that was going to happen around healing the mother wound. And the suggestion was to spend time each day for 30 days, 5 to 10 minutes a day, just feeling the feelings, being present with the feelings around mother, around the relationship with mother. So doing this for 30 days earns your own trust back, basically, on feeling your emotions, because it will establish a habit. So in one way, it's helpful there. But the fact that it's 30 days, that's a moon cycle, right? 28 days, I think, is a moon cycle. So The 30-day process is actually the moon cycle, and moon represents mother. Moon is mother energy. So I thought, wow, it's so perfect that it's 30 days that we do this for. So we do it throughout the whole cycle of the moon. And what we do is we just spend 5 to 10 minutes each day being present with whatever feelings come up about mom, about our relationship with mom. Whatever we feel, letting it be valid. Resentment, sadness, disappointment, longing, happiness even, if there's happy feelings. Whatever it may be. Inspiration, anger. 30 days of just letting ourselves be present with the feelings. Because, I do think there are many layers to the mother wound, and it is a more difficult one, You're not just like passing that through like that. Because it's like, it's part of who you are, right? In some ways. So, I'll invite you to try that experiment too if you're interested. I know I'm going to. I'm going to put it in my calendar, and I'm going to make sure I have that time every day, at least 5 minutes for 30 days of just being present with whatever feelings I can bring up about mother. So this would be within the context of a meditation, right? I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to relax, and I'm just going to watch my thoughts. And let myself feel anything that comes up. Not try to push it away, just observe any thoughts that come into my mind about the topic of mother. Okay? So, I don't know if you caught that in my last video where I showed my shadow, but I did. And I just wanted to add this in. Well, the other thing is, on this topic of transitioning from the old way of relating to a new way of relating, I realized that I didn't talk about examples of ways to start conversations with people that are more authentic. The only examples that I gave were basically dealing with people talking to us. But I soon realized that, there'll be times that I'm the one initiating the conversation, right? And I still want to be authentic in those situations. So when I'm starting the conversation, I'm not going to start it with, "Hi, how are you?" Right? So what would be a more authentic thing to say? One of the things I tried earlier today, I'll just give you the example, and it sounded very awkward and weird. And then I realized, I could just say, "Hi, how are you?" Because this was someone that, I am on an intimate basis with, and I can ask, "Hi, how are you?" because I'm genuinely interested in a deeper answer. We're not just in passing. They'll be sharing what they're comfortable with sharing, right? So what did I say here? Okay. So my kid says, "Hey, Mom, how are you doing?" Funny, right? And I'm like, "Hi, I'm great. Life is so good. Glad to have this day." And then instead of saying, "How are you?" I challenged myself to come up with something different. And I was like, "Have anything to share with me about you?" And then I was like, okay, he didn't reply to it. So I think I might have weirded him out. So I go, "I'm trying out alternatives to saying, 'How are you?' I know it probably sounds weird to ask if you have anything to share, but I am curious how you are." So, of course, in a conversation with my son, I can ask, "Hi, how are you?" It's not that example of when we're in passing and it's inauthentic. It really is authentic for me to say, "How are you?" to my son when I talk to him pretty much every day. So, but in other instances, when I am just in passing in the grocery store, I want to acknowledge somebody, and So on a typical day, like what my experience will be is like, I might see somebody and I might want to know how they are, right? And I might want to know deeper details about their lives, but I also know that they might not be in a position to share that with me. They may or may not feel comfortable. And I don't want to put them in any awkward situation to have to either be tied to a conversation or feel obligated to answer me in any deeper level, or even to offer me the usual just one word answer of good. To me, I just want to like break apart those old patterns. Even if they're okay to use, I'm trying to break out of them. So I was thinking, well, what could I say that's more authentic? And that's why I tried that. Do you have anything to share with me? Which I don't think is a real good one, right? So I'm passing someone I know. I'm in the grocery store, and I'm like I'm picturing saying, "Hey, it's nice to see you. What's going on?" Or "What are you up to lately?" Feels a little intrusive. I feel like they would just say not much or same, same. You know what? For some people, I think I'll do that bold thing. I'll be assertive. And for the people that I wish I could have more contact with, and we happen to be passing by each other in the grocery store and I haven't seen them in a while, and I just say, "Hey, nice to see you. Let me know if you ever want to get together and have some coffee, catch up." That's fair, because that's honest, right? That's honest for me. Yeah. And say if it's not someone that I want to necessarily sit down and have coffee with and talk with, I can just shorten it to, "Hey, nice to see you," if it's nice to see them. So what if it's not nice to see them, right? What if it's somebody that I'm like, oh, that person's been shady to me behind my back, but they think I think they like me. Maybe I'll just nod. Just acknowledge them as a person. You are a human being I know. Or just, hi, hello. That's it. Just an acknowledgement for those people, probably, right? That's most authentic to me. Let's see. Like I could picture me saying something to my mom like, "Hey mom, I care about what you're going through. Is there anything you want me to know?" I don't mind being real weird to my mom. Yeah, I don't know. I had just thought about after I stopped that video that I only went in one direction. And I thought that was kind of funny. Because of course there'll be times that I want to start a conversation and I want to cultivate a space where we can be more authentic, that we can assert ourselves in the way that we want to. Like maybe I would even say, "Oh, it's so nice to see you. It had been so long and I was hoping I would run into you again." Something like that might be honest, depending on who I'm running into. Like I'm just thinking in terms of allowing myself to be free enough to share honestly something that's true and not shallow and not fake and not faking care and not just what we're supposed to say. Yeah, so just some thoughts on that. But the main reason for this video was to confess my shadow and offer that experiment to anyone else who wants to try it out. So if you do try it out and you have success, let me know. If you want to come on and talk about it, that would be cool. Yeah, I have some other ideas. I actually, when I first channeled it, I have like a whole page of notes that I wrote on it, like because I was going to do some other things with it. But for now, I'm just presenting it as an experiment on this one level, and I'm going to begin experiment now.